I was watching a YouTube video where somebody must have bootlegged or they snuck Dave Chappelle and D-Ray and Deion Cole were on stage together. And I'm guessing it was D-Ray's Monday night. D-Ray does Monday nights at the Improv. He's been that Monday nights at the Improv has been going on for probably 25 years. And D-Ray's probably been the regular host there the last 15 at least, I bet, years. And so here's the thing about D-Ray. And I love D-Ray to death. But don't go to the Improv on Monday if you're a decent name comedian and think you're just going to sit in the audience. D-Ray has a way of sneaking you up on that stage, and then you're stuck. And then the crowd gives you a big smile, and then you got to tell some jokes. Did it to me a couple times on Monday nights. So it was interesting. Like, Dave went up there, and D-Ray was hosting, and Dave came up. And it was some cool little banner. And then Dave started going in on Katt. He started talking about Katt's thing and everything, and then D-Ray was disagreeing with Dave. And if you haven't seen it, and I know it's bootleg, and you're not stealing material here. I don't like when people bootleg shows, but I'm glad this person had their phone out and caught this organic moment on camera. So search it. It's all over YouTube and stuff. And it's very cool to see because you have two comedians, Dave Chappelle and D-Ray Davis, and they're in complete disagreement about the Katt interview. And a lot of times when you get someone at a level of a Chappelle, a lot of comedians will kind of bow down a little bit, and they won't challenge his way of thinking, especially to him in person. And it was very cool to see D-Ray sticking to his guns. And I wasn't watching it to agree or disagree. I was actually enjoying the banter and interaction because it never got disrespectful. It never got like, how dare you say that? Dave gave his point of view and D-Ray gave his point of view. And as I watch it, I'm sitting there going, okay, I see where Dave's coming from and I see where D-Ray's coming from. And there were certain points I agree with Dave and D-Ray, but I think D-Ray said it best. When Chappelle was like, Katt was ethering brothers and, he didn't talk about any of the white boys. Well, there's some validity to that. When Dave was like, he never like ethered any white guys or anything like that. He just talked about black men, basically. My name did come up, but he didn't ether me, so to speak. And I think Dave was like, you would never say anything to cost somebody money. And I said on my podcast a couple weeks ago, I was like, nobody lost money because of that. And that's where I would disagree with Dave on it, because I feel like everybody benefited, whether for or against. Your name was mentioned in the biggest podcast comedy interview in YouTube's history. And that's a good thing, because I don't think it cost anybody work. I don't think Cedric's selling less tickets. Steve's selling less. Well, Steve doesn't understand it anymore. It didn't cost Steve a TV job. Ricky, it didn't cost him anything. It actually gave Ricky content to talk about on his radio station. And if anybody's got a podcast, you should benefit by talking about it, because now you're in the algorithms. Like I said, I'm like, everybody benefited. So I disagree with Dave that he cost people money. He actually made everybody money, is what Katt did. And D-Ray said it best. I think D-Ray, the biggest thing he said that I was like, Dave was like, I had a special come out on New Year's Eve. And that's the one thing I noticed most of was nobody was talking about Chappelle's special, because Katt's interview came out a few days after and it ethered the internet. And so for Dave to have a special come out, he didn't get the reaction he's used to getting. And D-Ray said, look, Dave, you had an album. Katt had a mixtape, Unexpected. And I go, oh, my God. That was the perfect analogy for Dave's special and Club Shay Shay's podcast. And Dave had to pause. If you watch it, Dave pauses. And Dave doesn't pause a lot. He's very much on Katt's level as far as intellect. And I think deep down, it made so much damn sense. Dave almost had to redirect his train of thought. You could see him almost like, wow, that makes sense. And I watched it 3-4 times. And I just enjoyed the back and forth. D-Ray didn't back down. He stuck to his guns. And Dave was trying to make sense what he was talking about. He said, Dave said, hurt people hurt people. He goes, but I'm a hurt person, and I've never hurt anybody. And then he also mentioned how he had the special come out. And I was like, oh, maybe Dave didn't like it. And I'm just being devil's advocate here. Maybe Dave didn't like it because he didn't get the reaction he normally gets from his special, and he didn't get the traction he normally gets. In the end, Dave's going to be fine, but it happens. These type of things happen, and you don't know when it's going to happen. Dave Chappelle to drop a special and nobody's talking about it tells you the power that Katt Williams has and that interview had.